Hello, hello, hello to all you wisdom walkers out there, wannabe wisdom walkers, going to be wisdom walkers. This is Jojopah, Maria, and Saroma coming to you with the elemental wisdom for the month of October. This is the last Earth month of 2023. And so, yeah, we've made it. We've made it this far. Absolutely. So, without further ado, I am going to walk you through the elemental wisdom that is going to be occurring. We actually get to have the experience of all five elements of the Dagara Medicine Wheel this month. Yeah. And that's always a great blessing. The last time this happened, I believe it was in January. Yeah. So, it's a full month, and we've got two eclipses coming up, and it's a really powerful time of shift and moving forward in ways that we couldn't expect. And there's Queen Amina. Yes, happy Thursday to you. Lots of love to you, my dear. Thank you for listening in. Yes. All right. Here we go with this elemental wisdom for October. Oops, I jumped ahead. Boom. So, yeah, I really did jump ahead, did I? Yeah, okay, I'm good. Um, wait, thank you. I forgot to honor my teachers, Malidoma and Sobonfu Some. How could I do that? From the land of Burkina Faso. And the bringers of this elemental wisdom to Western culture, to me, and so many other people who had the opportunity to work with them and learn from them while they were still on the earth plane. Their books are still available, so I recommend, if you want a deeper dive into the medicine wheel and to Dagara African spirituality, to definitely check out their books. Yes. Okay. So we started on Sunday, October the 1st, and it was a water week. And this is all about releasing that which no longer serves us. You know, this has been a year of great change. And so during this time, some things have been revealed to us, some things have been uncovered about what is not in alignment with our truth, with our higher purpose, with what keeps us healthy, what keeps us in alignment with a greater order and direction. Yeah. And most importantly, what keeps us fulfilled and happy. And so this week, the energy is there to either validate if you haven't made a move forward, or to give you more support for releasing that which can no longer serve you. As it says here in this meme, it's time to let go of the past and embrace all that awaits you. Time to say yes to stepping into the fulfillment of your dreams. Yes. And so, as always, with an opportunity, here is distractions that may show up for you during this week. First is that fear of loss. Yeah. How am I going to fill in the blank if I leave, if I let go, if I unplug? Yeah. But notice it, but don't entertain that thought. Fear of the unknown, same kind of thing. You know, like, oh my God, what's going to happen? How do I do this? How do I do that? Yeah. Again, don't entertain it, because clearly when you are being pulled, some of us moved out of what can no longer support or serve us in what we are now being called to, yeah, you're going to be okay. It's going to come to you. You don't need to figure it out. You do need to be patient, and you do need to confront the fears that are going to show up, but don't entertain them. Don't use them as the impetus to lose your faith and hope that greater, bigger, better things are coming. Now, that needing to know or explain outcomes, that's another one that is can mess us up. It can be a big distraction. Outcomes that you haven't lived, and again, it's letting go of your faith and your hope. So definitely don't entertain that. And then last but not least, holding on out of false obligation and false guilt. Yeah, that's a big one because a lot of times we really believe that if we leave a situation, relationship, a job, um, a friendship, a service that we were performing, that the person's going to die or the situation, everything's going to fall apart. And you know what? That may be true. That may happen, but it's not your fault. It may be exactly what needs to happen. There were people that were able to get off of the Titanic. They didn't go down with it. They had to leave. They had to go. So just keep that in mind. Don't beat yourself up. If you're really being called, especially by your God, to step forward step out of something and onto something that you don't even know what it is, but you have to leave. Just do it. Just do it. And trust that you are not hurting anyone, that's not what you're doing. Yeah. And I got some comments here that I do want to share with you. Let me come back to my little face here so I don't mess with the pictures. I got a Facebook user saying, checking in from Arizona. Hey, Arizona, love you. Someone saying, yes, fear can be so paralyzing. Totally, totally can. And, to me, fear is a teacher. It comes to teach us something. So when we hold it in that way, we don't have to give it power over us. We actually can use it. And then someone says, oh, goodness, yes, that false obligation and false guilt. You know what I'm talking about. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So let's go back here to our distractions and know that we can let go and move forward. Yeah. So here we go with what's coming up starting this Sunday, which will be a nature week and a nature year. And yeah, this is it. This is all about going with the change, not resisting it, allowing it to happen, focusing on that this is a great time for new beginnings, welcoming the change, allowing the change. Yeah, because it's here. It's here, folks. Yeah. And also, what is the right change for me right now? Give yourself permission to ask for that. Very, very important. Yeah, absolutely. So let's look at the distractions to this. And here they are. The first one, addictive behaviors in whatever form they take, drugs and alcohol, indiscriminate sexual activity, overworking, overshopping, overuse of Facebook and other social media tools and apparatus. Yeah. And so again, the change is calling, and it brings upset, right? Change brings disruption. Change brings, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen. How is it going to happen? And, we had so many natural disasters that kicked in within the last 3 months. And that's the extreme of it. That's radical change. When you lose your home by a fire, by a flood, by an earthquake, by a storm, that's very radical. But what we're feeling too, it may not be that extreme, but we are feeling that this change is definitely happening. So it's easy to get pulled into like, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to feel this and go into addictive behavior. So be conscious of that. And addiction is basically where you're giving your power over to something that really isn't for your good. It's really not for your health or your benefit. That's a way to think about it. Being judgmental of yourself and others, yeah, something you want to really be wary of, because that can also keep you stuck in, I know what I'm doing and I don't have to change and I shouldn't change. Yeah, stay away from that. And then taking yourself or other people or things too seriously. making yourself the victor because you have to change or because you changed. Yeah. So that ego stuff, can get in the way. But the whole idea here is just to know that the change is upon us and we can choose to welcome it rather than being in resistance to it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, let's go on to the week of Sunday, October the 15th, which is our Earth Week in the Earth year. I mean, the Earth month in the nature year. And this is all about, yes, being open to receive. Folks, I can't emphasize to you how important this one is because this one is about vulnerability. This is about we're going to have to become vulnerable and we're going to have to open up to receiving even though we haven't made it happen or we haven't figured it out or we're not the ones that are in charge, whatever. But this is really about trusting in the universe, trusting in a greater order and direction, in your God, so that you can have what can come to you in a way or ways that you couldn't have orchestrated, that you can't imagine. And this is really, really important. But again, it requires that I got to get vulnerable. I got to be in this fear of loss and fear of unknown. But it requires that faith and hope to open up and really, really trust that. Yeah. So let's look at some distractions to this being open. Of course, the first one, that fear of hearing a no. If you have to ask for some help to receive something, the last thing we want to hear is a no. But as a great man told me, my teacher Malidoma, he said, you have to accept the no's in order to get to the yeses. So in other words, you have to put it out there, make the effort to ask, to put yourself again in that vulnerable situation so that you can get through all of the no's until you get to a yes. And again, that's back to believing that you deserve a yes. And all of us on the planet do. We all deserve help and support. Fear of being a burden. This one was a huge one for me when I was going through I'll hold on for 1 second, folks. My Google is trying to get in our conversation. Okay, I had to unmute her because she liked to be in on the conversation sometimes. But as I was saying, this one was a real challenge for me when I was on the road learning how to become a shamanic healer from a very, very deep, deep understanding. And when I was staying with different people, even family, sometimes strangers, that would be the first thing that I would think is I'm a burden and they're going to throw me out. And sometimes that did happen. Sometimes I did get kicked out for reasons I couldn't understand. But, that's how it goes. That's how your fear shows up. And so this one is the one that unconsciously we can be carrying, but it's really important, especially during this week of the Earth Week coming up. It's really important that you stay awake to the fact that you are not a burden because you need help. We all, at some point in our lives, are going to be in a situation, and more than once, when we need help and we can't figure it out for ourselves. So give yourselves permission to do that. Just let go of being a burden. And something that I learned, and I did write about this in my book, is that even though I thought I might be a burden in the situation, I actually ended up being a blessing. And so just know that's how the universe works. And then last but not least, that fear of being judged as weak or as a failure. Yeah. Because, right? We shouldn't have to ask for help. We should have it all figured out, especially, if you're an adult. Yeah, right. Yeah. And especially not in the times we're living in. None of us have anything figured out. So again, let go of judging yourself as weak or as a failure or letting anybody judge you as that simply because you're asking for and open to receiving help. Yeah. So I got a couple of more comments that came in. I just want to take a moment and share. One is from my dear friend and colleague, Miss Carmen Ray. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, Carmen. Yeah, Carmen. We're going to be talking soon. I got some dates for you. Yeah, definitely. And then my dear friend Esty, she's an Earth Mama. Yes. Said, what a good time to catch you live. Great. Yeah, this timing worked for me. I'm glad that I did choose it. So that you could be here. I love it. I love it. And love you, my darling. Yes. Okay. So we're now going to move from the Earth Week of receiving, and we're going to move into into our Fire Week. And guess what? This is a double Fire Week on the 22nd. Yeah. So no joke, right? And it's all about what? The truth. It's about being in your truth, telling your truth, having your truth, calling on the ancestors to guide you so that you can live your truth, be in the truth of who you are, not being underneath or over with somebody else's understanding of what is going on and trying to tell you what you ought to do or shouldn't do. No, no. It's time for us to, and as the younger people call it, adulting. It's time for us all to be adulting and realize that, you know what? Nobody can tell you on your unique journey to become the best version of yourself how to do that. It is something that is between you and your God and your universe. It's very unique. And so when we hide our truth and when we're not living our truth, we're very much open to be giving our power over to somebody else who really can't tell us exactly what it is that we need to do. They can make suggestions, and I'm always open to that. I love that. That's how I learn, because they may be speaking some truth for me. But when it comes down to the final decision, give yourself permission to stay aligned with your truth. Yeah. Very, very important. And so here's distractions. Yeah. Maintaining the status quo. We all know about that. And again, when we were children and teenagers, this was important, but you've grown now. And it's time for you to be okay with being who you are, no matter how different that may be to other people. Abandoning your true self in order to please others or avoid conflict. Yeah. And, do we have to do this sometimes to quote unquote survive a situation? Oh, yeah. But it should not be the way we have to live our lives. It should not be that. Lying to yourself or others, that addictive behavior syndrome where you ain't supposed to be doing it, but you do it anyway. And then you try to cover it up. Oh, yeah. Sacrificing your needs in order to be included or to belong or be included. Yeah. Yeah. Again, it's very easy. It's so easy, especially in a relationship. And I don't care whether it's male, female, female, male, male, whatever kind of relationship. It is so easy to think that you have to sacrifice your needs in order to be in the relationship. So, yeah, be on the lookout for that a lot. And then, last but not least, that fear of not being liked, loved, or accepted. Yeah. And the Sadhguru says, be truthful to yourself. That's the most important thing. Yeah. And a quick Facebook views are put up about the fire. Yeah, this double fire week. Yeah. Because we're just entering into a time where we're being asked to really, 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 really live in the truth of who we are and as human beings, and not treat ourselves like we're AI. Anybody who's afraid of AI has not had enough opportunity or support to get in touch with their humanity. Because when you master yourself or take on the mastering of yourself, you know the difference. You know that. Yeah. Yeah. What to do. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So now we go to our final week. Our final week. And oh, someone has a comment about I love AR. So far, so good. Yeah, yeah, because clearly you're staying in charge of it. You're not giving your power over to it. Continue that. Absolutely. Yeah. So here we go to our final week in this amazingly transformative and powerful and grounding month of October, this Earth month. And it's going to be a mineral week. And it's time for us to connect to ourselves and most importantly to others in a loving way, in and trusting, honest, compassionate, open way. Because as human beings, this is what we're here to do. We are here to connect. That's our work. That's our job, is to connect with each other. Yes. And so the mineral energies are around to help us do that, to remind us of purpose. And this most central and essential purpose that we all have as human beings, which is to be in connection. And that's what being a community is about, right? It's about being connected, uniting. And there are many things that are happening right now in the world that we do need to be united over. And, more and more people are coming together, like the big strike that's going on right now with healthcare workers for Kaiser Permanente, where they are saying, look, this is not okay. We are not going to continue to work under these conditions. We need change. And so they came together to unite it, to bring up that change about. Yeah. So here are distractions for the mineral week. Feeling sorry for people and taking on their pain. Yeah, that's not a good way to connect to folks. It doesn't lead to a happy ending. Because when you feel sorry for somebody, first of all, you're doing it because you're feeling sorry for yourself. So there's something that you need to address in you, but also it's telling the person that that's all you can be. It's putting a ceiling on who they are. And so people get resentful with that. And think about it. Anytime you've been felt sorry for, haven't you felt a little resentful? Yeah, absolutely. False obligations, once again, because you forget you are worthy. Yes. And so we don't have to be in connection, in relationship with others, because we're forgetting that we are worthy of more, better. You don't have to stay in a situation that's not working for you. Victim consciousness. Yes, yes. That's a big culprit that can show up around connectivity. Because one of the things that believing that you are a victim versus I've had a victimizing experience that I'm learning how to integrate and to get the treasure from. But if you stay in that victim consciousness, yeah, it's very hard to connect with other people, and especially in a loving manner. Yeah. Anxiety and impatience. Yeah. I love this one because it's something you wouldn't think about. Like, that would distract me from being connected, but think about it. Anxiety and impatience. Oh yeah, big distraction. And then, last but not least, gossip, judgments, and blaming. Yeah. Blaming, shaming. That will definitely keep you disconnected from being able to connect with the right people. Yeah. So do avoid that. Absolutely. So that is the elemental wisdom that I have for you for this month of October. And I'm going to just close out with, as I always do, a reminder to you about Earth Day. Yeah. The 22nd of each month is what I call Earth Day monthly. We need to not just wait till once a year to act like we're concerned about the earth. We need to do it monthly. We really need to do it every day. But I figured I'd start with a month. Maybe next year I'll go to weekly. But I invite you to go to the website, www.earthday.org, and look up that campaign for End Plastics Pollution. because we really do need to do something about it. That one we need to definitely come together on, and we need to come together quick. So again, thank you for honoring the earth and for taking the time to find out what you can do as an individual or a collective to really help this planet be livable, habitable for the seventh generation that comes after us. Ashe. I also want to plug my book, Wisdom Walk to Self-Mastery, Ancient Wisdom for Transforming Pain, where I do break down the medicine wheel for you in a way that is digestible. And it is still available on Amazon, Kindle, and other online booksellers. And I also want to bring your attention to my dear friend and mentee, Miss Quanita Roberson, who in conjunction with Amy Howton wrote the book, The Innerground Railroad, a 40-day journey to remembering soul and spirit. And Quanita does a magnificent job of weaving the medicine wheel into that journey. And she has some beautiful graphics about the medicine wheel. She gives you the Dagara terminology for the different elements, like fire is voom, and I'm forgetting what water is, but she has that in there. It's beautiful graphics, and it has just become available on Amazon and Kindle, and of course, other online booksellers. And I will, in the description box below this video, put the link for you for that. I highly, highly recommend it. Quanita's been working with this medicine for many, many years, and it's wonderful to see her walk it in this way. And of course, the Innerground Railroad is dealing with the issue of race in America between blacks and whites historically, and the impact that that has had. And it's a very, very powerful book. Yeah. So, and then just my closing page, as I say to you, thank you, thank you, thank you for listening in. And I will definitely be back, hopefully rather than later, to give you the element of the astrological forecast. We've got two coming up, one on the 14th, which is a solar eclipse, and then on the 28th, 14 days after, which will be a lunar eclipse. And so that information, it'll be very helpful to you to navigate through all of these changes that we have. We're in this last quarter of 2023, this nature year. So yeah, there's big changes ahead. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening in. I love you all so much. I'm so grateful for you. And keep up the great work. Keep up doing and sending your light out into the universe. And together, we're going to make it. Absolutely. All right, now, have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day and week and month. Bye-bye now.